Hello, hello, hello. Can anybody see me and hear me? Okay, here I am live. Okay. Hello, everybody joining me today. Welcome to another live stream from me. My name is Iveta, otherwise known as Dainty Gifts on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, etc. And today I am streaming for Finnabair. I am a part of the design team for Finnabair. So today we're going to create something absolutely awesome, I hope. I have the idea of kind of, you know, it's like a first time thing for me. I've never created such big canvas before. So we're going to make something really, really fun. Oh, hi Catherine, hello. Okay, so today we're going to play around with this big canvas. So as you can see, it's pretty big, about half of me. I don't know the size of it. If you need to know the size of it, then like message me after the stream and I'll tell you, I'll measure it or something. So, as you can see, I've already prepared it. I basically just painted it with green and blue paint and did like a little, it's not an ombre, it's just like a little softer blend so that it's not so, you know, harsh, so that there's no harsh edge. So I just kind of blended it and stuff. So that's what I did beforehand, because it's a bit of a, you know, boring thing to watch somebody do. And today we're going to play around with some things and make it into like a midnight, starry night, starry summery night, hopefully, kind of theme. So, right, let me turn you around so you can see the canvas and the desk and what we're doing. And yeah, let's get started. So, here we go. Let me kind of tilt you so that you can see what's going on. So like this, so you can see pretty much all of it. It's a bit of a, it's a big canvas, so it's a bit tricky to show the whole thing. Okay. Hi Teresa, hi Saima, Eileen, hello Evie, hi Evie. Oh, we have two Evies today. Cynthia, you made it, yes. Wendy, I'm sure whatever you do will be lovely. Well, I really hope so. So, right, okay, let me see if I can I make it a little bit brighter? Focus on there. Is that any better? Hopefully. Okay, so let me just kind of quickly talk you through the thought process of what's going to be happening today. Wait, can I turn this a little bit so that you can see it better? You know, I tried to adjust my camera so that you can see everything, like using my phone camera beforehand, but I think it shows it at a different angle on my phone. Because when I tested it out beforehand, it was showing the whole thing, and now we have little corners cut off, but it's okay. We can still deal with it. Ioana? I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but hello. You can see, well, okay, good. Hi, Nelly. Moika, hello. Right, okay. So, yesterday I prepared some resin castings, and I already gessoed them with some black gesso so that you don't have to watch me gesso like 50 elements. So this is what they looked like before I put any gesso on them. They're just casted with liquid plastic resin. So let me show you the molds that I used. So these are the castings that we're going to be using. So I poured, I already had some stars left over from previous projects. I poured a moon and some stars, lots of stars. This is Finnabair Stars and Moons mold. And then I also poured some flowers from Finnabair's, is this is Flower Queen, I think. God, I can't remember the names of these two. I think one of them is Flower Queen, and I can't remember the name of the other one. Right, okay, so, but these are two small Finnabair molds, and they have little flowers in them, so I poured some of those little flowers as well. Then I used this mold from Redesign with Prima, which is Fragrant Roses, I believe. If anybody knows the exact names of these molds, then please, if you could put them in the comments, that would be good. And then I also poured two of these little bugs from this Redesign with Prima mold, which again, fortunately, I can't remember the name. This is like one of the newest ones that I purchased, so I haven't like gotten around to like putting the name in, you know, in like any other videos or anything like that. So, because that's how I usually learn the names of everything. Anyway, so I poured some of these elements with resin. So we're going to be putting them on canvas. So we're going to have stars here kind of dripping down onto our grass, and then we're going to have some flowers and some leaves and bugs and everything going up. Then we're also going to use some stencils with waxes. So I've got these two stencils from Finnabair again, and I have this effect paste, which is called Golden Nugget. It dries to like a black and gold finish. Very beautiful. We're going to use some sparks, which is a very shiny, very sparkly acrylic paint. And we're probably going to use some art pebbles right at the very end, which are like these tiny little pretty stones that you can add to your artwork. And of course, waxes. So, first of all, I want to add some of these dandelions. So if you watched me make the what do you call it, the jewelry box that I made over the past 2 streams, I already used this particular stencil for a pattern, but today I want to use it in a slightly different way. So we're going to still use it with a wax. I'm going to use white pearl wax, but I'm not going to make a pattern out of this. I've got some masking tape here. This bit is a bit dirty. I wonder what happened there, but we get rid of that. So I'm going to use some masking tape to mask off one of these dandelions. Come on. So we just basically mask off one of them so that then we can add it here and there in a few places. I don't know, in my mind, as I'm trying to imagine, I think it's going to look great, but we will see what happens in the end. So I'm just covering all of the edges so that when I go over with the wax, I don't need to worry about getting any extras that I don't want. Okay, so just like that, I've masked off one of the dandelions. Hi, Agnieszka. That one is Fragrant Roses, the other one is Royalty. Yes, right, okay, so this Prima mold is called Royalty. This one is Fragrant Roses. Then we have, what did Teresa say? The small ones are Flower, so this one is Flower Queen, and this one is Art Nouveau. That's the one that I forgot the name of. Thank you, Teresa. Right, okay, then we're going to take some of this white pearl wax, and I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit out onto a plate so that I can pick it up easy. And then I'll take just a natural bristle brush. So this is a stencil brush from Finnabair as well. And I'm going to just add a few of these dandelions through the stencil with the brush, with the white wax. In a few places. So we have one. That's so pretty. I could just leave it like that. Let's call it modern art. And so, of course, everything that I do today, you know, I'm making it on a canvas, but this can be done on really on any flat surface that you have. So let's add, need some more wax. Where did I put it? So I'm just gonna stencil some of these, make them float around. You could do multiple, like if you wanted to work a little bit faster or something, or you wanted to do more of them. You could mask off a few, you know, like mask off this one and then one here in the corner, and then you can kind of work on two in one spot without having to move it every time. But and then let's add one here. So we're going to do a bit of layering today. I'm going to layer some stencils, some molds, paints, etc. to create like a nice image. And then maybe we'll add another one here. So I'm just kind of adding them randomly. I'm trying not to think about it too much. I know it's very difficult. I always find it very difficult. Like my brain really likes patterns and, you know, trying to like even everything out, but I'm trying not to. So I'm just going to add one last one here in the corner. And then we'll be done, because we still have lots more to add. So I don't want to like overdo it straight away. That's true about art. I think stenciling is so much easier with wax than paint. I agree. It's so much easier to get like a nice crisp edge. Unless you have one of those repositionable sprays where you can like stick your stencil down and then take it off with paint. If you're just like holding it with your hands, then it's really difficult to have it kind of, you know, not seep under your stencil with paint, especially if you're using like a very liquidy paint like Sparks. It tends to like seep under the stencil. Okay, so we have this stencil down. Now the next thing that I want to do before we apply our molds is I want to add some texture with this mold. Again, if anybody knows the name of this stencil, please let me know in the comments. I'm really bad with names, so unless it's like written there, I will forget. Right, so the reason why I'm doing this stencil before I do the molds is obviously once I've applied the molds, it'll be really hard for me to lay it down flat and keep it in place and stuff. So I'm going to try and do that first, and then we can also stick the molds into the paste while it's still drying, and then, you know, it adds more like adhesion to it. So I'll just take a palette knife, and then I as I already said, I have Golden Nugget Effect Paste from Art Extravagance line by Finnabair. These are all Prima products, by the way, so if anybody's wondering. And when you open it up, it doesn't like look very appealing, because the gel that everything sits inside has like this opaque color. But when it dries, it becomes like all of this opaque stuff becomes transparent, and so all you can see is the glitter inside and like the little black grains and the glitter on the inside. So it's very, very pretty once it's completely dry. So I want to do like a corner on this side and a corner on the diagonal side. So again, I'm not gonna do the whole stencil side to side. I'm gonna go from the top here and like bring it down all the way to the bottom, and then I'm just gonna kind of slide it across again diagonally. Oops. And then I just use my palette knife to scrape off as much of the excess as I can before I remove the stencil, because once it's off, it's really difficult to scrape the excess off when when your stencil is all floppy and stuff. And you can either use the excess to add some more texture on the side, or you can scrape it off and then put it back in your jar. Right, okay, let's take it off on here. Right, so very, very pretty. It's going to be even prettier once the opaque stuff is all completely dry. So before I move on to the other side, I want to have it all nice and crisp. So I'm just checking if there's like any yeah, there are bits on the other side, so I'll just quickly go and wash this. I prepared a bowl with some water here right next to me, so I'll just rinse it off and dry it off before I move on to the other side, because the way that I am, I don't know, a lot of people can do it at the same time. They just do one side and then they go ahead and do the other side straight away. It doesn't work the same way for me for some reason. I don't know if that's just, who I am as a person, clumsy and stuff, but like if I just put it down, I know that the stencil isn't going to come out as crisp. So I prepared a bowl of water here, so I just give it a rinse in my bowl of water. That's what I'm doing right now. Hopefully you can still hear me. And I just use some towels to quickly dry it off. And that's how I usually, like if I want a very nice and crisp stencil and I want to do it multiple times, then I usually clean my stencil between every application. So I find that it's handy to just have a bowl of water right next to you, and you can just rinse your stencil off, dry it on a piece of cloth. And it also helps, like right now when I'm doing a live stream, once I'm finished with this stencil, there you go, it's nice and clean and dry. So yeah, and then it just helps, like if I'm doing a live stream, once I'm done with this, I can just throw the stencil in that bowl of water, and it's not gonna like dry and go all crusty, and then I won't, it's gonna be really, really hard to clean it all off. So, oh, Olga, hello. You always wash too. Yeah, that's good to know that I'm not alone. Right, so now I'm gonna add the same pattern on the other side. So again, I'm gonna start just from like the opposite corner and like bring it down like this. Hi Inge. Hi Olga. How are you? How is everybody, by the way? I've just been chatting away. I haven't even asked how you guys are. Please excuse me, pardon my rudeness. So I go all the way down here. And I bring it. And we covered one of our dandelions. And bring it down like this. Might go out a little bit more. I don't know. I'll add a few bits here and there. I'm feeling a bit frisky today. Okay. So now I'm done with the stencil, so I'll just go and throw it into my bowl of water. And okay, what is next? Applying molds. I wrote it down. I wrote down the sequence to of what I'm planning to do, because I found that I always plan everything out and then I completely forget like what I was gonna do. You know what? I just made a mistake. I was gonna do it like that way, do the stencil that way, but I did it the opposite way. I just realized that's what happens to me during live streams. I get flustered. And then, okay, we'll just go like this. And soften up the edges so that it's not like so straight. And then we'll cover these bits up with molds. So it's going to be a bit shiny here, but it's okay, because we have a lot to add here. And then we'll remove like this bit here. I'll grab a wet wipe, that'll help. So I'll just soften up these bits a little bit. That's not what I was planning to do. Right, okay. Let's move on to the molds. Close this so that it doesn't dry out. Hello, Leanne. Is that a 3D stencil? Yes, so we just made raised stencil using Finnabair stencil and Golden Nugget effect paste by Finnabair as well. If you have any more questions, then just let me know. I need something to talk about. Right, so my molds. So as I already said, I casted them with resin and I painted them with some black gesso, which let me show you. Black gesso is just a tub like this, and it's basically a primer that will help us paint them later. Well, we're going to use waxes to paint them, but so it's going to help the waxes stick. Right, so I'm going to use heavy body gel to stick my molds down, which is, heavy body gel is just like a really, really thick and strong glue. And I need a brush. So I'm just going to take a brush, and the first thing that I want to start with is, where is my moon? So I have this big moon, and I want to sit him right there. So I'm applying a little bit of glue on. So I'm trying to spread it out as evenly as I can. This glue is very, very thick, but that's why it's so sticky. Like once it's completely dry, you won't be able to rip that off. Where should I put it? Here. And so I chose to do this while the raised stencil is dry as well, while the raised stencil is wet, because also like it helps to apply the mold, because while it's still wet you can kind of press it in and it goes in there, but once the stencil is all dry, it's going to be a little bit harder to get it to lay down flat. Have I missed anything? Vintage wallpaper. Okay, that is the that's the stencil that we used for the raised stencil effect here with the paste. Katerina, hello from Greece. Hi Denise. Hi Nina from Spain. I love that sound. Olga, I'm patting myself on the back for remembering that you are live. Have you on the phone while I'm fixing last project before weekend. Well done. I'm very, very proud of you for remembering. And I'm very grateful that you are here. Okay, so this is just going to be the long, boring part of me applying the molds, but unfortunately I wasn't able to I wouldn't have been able to do this beforehand because, you know, we had to do the raised stencil and everything beforehand. So at this point, I'm just going to apply glue onto the back of the molds and stick them down wherever I feel like. So I'm going to apply a few. A bit coming out there, so I just use my brush to pick it up. So yeah, I'm gonna start by applying a few stars, and then I'm gonna apply the biggest flowers that I have, so the roses and stuff, and then we're going to fill in the gaps in between. I don't know if I'm gonna need to use all of these molds that I made, but I thought, you know, better safe than having to then pour molds while I'm during, you know, making a live stream. So here. Hi Cornelia. Hello everybody that is joining us today. If you're new here to me, to my live streams, then hello, you'll get used to my weirdness eventually. I promise you. Don't go. Stay. I don't know. Please, somebody rescue me. I'm starting to talk. So, some more stars. We'll add another big one here, where I messed up the raised stencil a little bit. To kind of distract from all the glitter. And then, so let's add some flowers. So I have this big rose here from the Prima mold, Redesign with Prima Fragrant Roses. And I want to stick it in the corner as well. So a little bit like this. this rose could go here. So at the moment it's literally just put some molds down wherever I feel like. I'm kind of, again, trying not to think about it too much, because I am very prone to overthinking things, and then, you know, kind of, you know, trying to get it all to look super symmetrical, and then it looks weird. And yes, I'm just taking whatever mold I happen to take, and then I stick it down. The only thing that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to, like, the way that I planned it out is that I want to create like a big congregation of flowers here, and then just kind of spread them out, you know, like the biggest chunk over here on this side, and then just kind of spread them out towards that side. Hi Karen, you made it. I enjoy your weirdness very much. Okay, good. I think that is why we get along, because we understand how our brains work. Vinna, hello. A lot of lovely people today here. I take it your Friday night is about as exciting as mine. That being said, I am very excited to be here, creating for all of you guys to see. Maybe somebody will get inspired. We had somebody, after I finished the jewelry box, somebody did get inspired. Oh my god, I forgot the name, I'm so sorry. Don't take offense if you see this. Please don't take offense. I even reshared it and now I can't remember the name. I'm so terrible with names. But yeah, somebody got inspired and made a jewelry box with Finnabair's solar paper, kind of in a similar way how I showed it. And it's just so awesome to see that, you know, when I'm creating these kind of things here in the live stream, they're not just for nothing, but somebody actually, you know, finds them inspiring and takes, you know, things that I show and turns them into their own artwork, which is just amazing to see. I also poured a few of these leaves from the Fragrant Rose mold, and so I'm applying those as well. And I'm not applying them like right next to the flowers, because I want them to be more like, you know, just a random leaf floating around in the wind. I'm missing something here. We need, maybe we'll add a star here, like a little star. Little star, little star. I have a little star. Let's add it here. A little falling star fell to the earth. Oh no, Karen, can you hear me now? Oh no. Okay, Eileen can hear. Lynette, hi. Hi, Lynette. And so yeah, I'm just kind of putting things wherever I feel like putting them. And we'll do a leaf here. Need to add some more stars now. Balance it out. I think I'm gonna have to use the heat gun once I've applied them, and once I've we're gonna add some paint splatters with gonna add some paint splatters with sparks to add some more stars and stuff. So once I've done that, I'm gonna have to give everything a quick blast with the heat gun, get it all dry before we start applying the waxes. So I also poured another round moon, and I thought that if we just add an extra moon, it'll make it look a bit more fun, a bit more exciting, because one moon isn't enough, of course. So I just stick it here. You know what, this mold is a bit shallow for some reason. I'm very new to pouring molds with resin, so I'm still trying to figure out the right way, you know, to pour them so that they don't over pour, or, you know, I should have really sanded the backs to get them all nice and even, but I didn't get the chance today. So here's a tip for you: if you're pouring resin molds, then sand the back, as I learned yesterday from Olga. So I have a little beetle. I'm gonna add him flying up on this side, and then we'll take our other beetle and we'll place him the other way. He's gonna be flying downwards. To me, this is like a very exciting part to do, because this is where I get to think about the story of all of these stars and which way this star is going and why is it there, and this beetle, is it flying up to the sky or down, or, you know, what is it thinking? This is where you can get really creative with what you're making and kind of put a little story inside of it. We'll add a flower here. And again, you don't have to like only paint your molds black. Of course, you can use whatever paint you want. Like if you want to, instead of using waxes, if you want to just paint them, that's fine as well. Or if you want to apply your molds and kind of have them in the background, then apply your molds first and then paint your canvas or whatever it is that you're working on. I don't know, a dresser or a box or whatever it is that you are making. You can just create your own story with different colors. And the flower here. I don't know. Am I gonna end up using all of them? Probably. I said I wasn't, but I think I might. I have a star here. And now we have a little flower. Oh, I forgot to paint this side. Right, never mind, we'll leave it to the side. It's important to have them all, before you wax, it's important to have them all like painted the same color. Otherwise it's just not going to look the same, it's not going to look right. I feel like this space is missing something, so we'll add a little rose. Flower here, and a flower there, and then add a little flower here, kind of going up. Leaf. And we're getting close to finishing line here with the molds. So I have one last painted star to add, and I think I'm going to add it here. Clean up that gel. And now I just have a few more flowers left, so I'm going to stick them in here. And try and fill this space in a little bit. So as you can see, primarily I have flowers going kind of from this side and that way. So more flowers, and then we kind of, you know, calm down towards the end. And then stars are just kind of everywhere. And then last flower, I don't know, here. Okay. I also have these bits in here in my tray. This is a necklace that I used to have. The necklace broke, but I saved these little flowers, and I kind of kept them in my tray, thinking that I think in the end these could look cute as just like an extra addition, you know. Utilize the broken jewelry, don't bin it. Okay, so we can close the heavy body gel, and now we can add some little sparkles. So I picked out Finnabair Sparks in Unicorn's Hair colour, which is almost like a white gold. And I'm gonna take my plate that I used earlier. I'm gonna scoop out a little bit. Where's my scooper thing? Scooper thing, a palette knife. And I'm just gonna scoop a little bit out, and then add a little spray of water, because even though sparks are quite liquidy, for what we're gonna do now, your paint needs to be quite liquidy. So you can do this with any kind of paints. You could liquid acrylics are really good for paint splatters if you just want a glossy paint, so but no shimmer. But I want some shimmer right now for additional stars, so that's why I'm using sparks. And then I'm going to take another natural bristle brush, so with these kind of hard bristles. And where's my cloth? Gonna need this skewer bamboo stick. This is a barbecue stick. And what I usually do is I dip my brush in paint like this, and then I use my brush to flick the paint. Use the bamboo skewer to kind of flick the paint, and it creates really, really pretty effect. So we've got some stars now. So we're gonna have some big stars and flowers, but we're also gonna have some additional sparkly stars here in the background. And yes, the paint is going everywhere, including my desk and everything that is in kind of on the side here, but you know, that's what you've got to deal with. That's just how it is when you're creating these kind of effects. And then you can choose, like, if you want there to be like more stars clustered up here, then you just add some extra splatters, or like pick up a bit more with your brush, and then you're gonna get a little bit like thicker splatters. And then I'm gonna also go over the grass as well, or my supposed grass. And then the reason why I'm doing this before I've painted the molds is because I don't really want the paint splatters on my molds. So you know, I'm gonna splatter them now, but then when I'm waxing them, they're all gonna get covered up. So it's gonna be very, very sparkly and shimmery. Mr. Lot got a phone call. That's okay, Catherine. You can watch the bits that you've missed, you know, after when we're finished. Oh, thank you. Hello from Ecuador. Hi, Sandra. That splatter got it all. Get it all over every time. Yes, me too. That's why I made my I have like this shelf here, and I made it very like grungy and shabby on purpose, because I knew that I was gonna do paint splatters and it's gonna get paint all over it, so I may as well just embrace it and make it look like it was meant to be there. So I'm just utilizing the last bit of paint that I have here, picking up every last little bit. And now I'm gonna have to move this to the side first of all. I'm gonna have to get my heat gun out and just get everything dry before we move on to the waxing stage, waxing of the molds, because if I start waxing the molds before everything is dry, like these parts where the flowers are going over the raised stencil, those are just gonna it's gonna smudge out all of my raised stencil. And also the heat helps heavy body gel that we applied to glue down the molds. It helps it kind of stick together, it dries it a bit quicker. So it's not the best. Of course, it's always, like I always advise it in my any of my like tutorials and things that I do. I always advise that if you have the time to spare and let everything dry naturally, then it's the best thing that you can do for your artwork, is to let it all dry naturally. I mean, with Finnabair's, again, I've said it before, I'm sure, but with Finnabair's products, it's not as big of a deal because all of the products that she made are kind of designed to work well with a heat gun. However, if you're using any other products, but especially like varnishes and things like that, those don't do well with artificial drying. They have to be dried naturally, so it's the best thing. If you can let it dry naturally, then do it. Hi Amelia, you made it! Greetings from Finland. How are you today, Amelia? I hope that you are doing well. It looks like the real starry sky. Well, I'm glad. I was hoping that it would. And we're going to make it even more like a starry sky and more kind of interesting once we've applied the wax. And you know, if we apply some like pebbles and stuff like that, it's gonna make it look even more magical. So can you guys still hear me while I'm drying with the heat gun? I'm not sure. I see everybody talking over the heat gun, but it seems like it sounds so loud to me, but everybody else, I think the way that it works is that it blocks out the sounds. Like the technology in the phone blocks out the background noise if I'm talking, if it can hear the voice. So hopefully you can still see, or rather hear me well. I think so too. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Vina. Hi, Paula. You made it. You made it to the stream. So this is going to take a little while. So while it's drying, I'm going to tell you about the waxes that I picked out for the stars and and everything else. So I picked out these 3 waxes for the molds, which is old silver, aged brass, and vintage gold. All 3 are from Finnabair's Art Alchemy metallic wax line. And I think I'm gonna do old silver plus vintage gold for the stars and the moon and stuff, and then I think I'm gonna use aged brass for the flowers. Like Finnabair's waxes come in all different like colors, so if I wanted to, I could make the flowers like pink or purple or, you know, whatever color you want. However, in this case, I think because we have so much going on already, I think I'm going to leave the flowers kind of and all of the molds, make them kind of blend together a little bit more, so that it's the shape that like distinguishes them from one another rather than the colour. We can hear, okay, good. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, then let me know. And then we'll also add some art pebbles, which I already showed, but they're like these little plastic pebbles that are really, really pretty. This is all. It's kind of touch dry now, so I think we can move on to the waxes. Again, I'm gonna get a plate, and I'm gonna start with the vintage gold and old silver. So I'm gonna squeeze out some silver and some gold. And I'm gonna need 2 brushes for this. I'm gonna use this smaller one that I used for white pearl for silver. I really need to get myself another one of these, because they come in handy when you're doing these kind of things. And then I'm gonna start with, need to move these molds out of the way. This is looking awesome already. Thank you, Jessica. I have 2 waxes from Finnabair, and I'm so grateful for them. They're lovely to work with. They really are. They really are. Very beautiful waxes. Okay, so I'm gonna do some of these stars silver, and again, I'm not I don't have any particular rhyme or reason as to like why one is silver, why the other one is going to be gold. I just feel like doing it this way, and maybe on some of them we will combine the 2. Okay, so we'll do, I don't know, and then this one's silver as well, and then I'll take some gold. Some gold stars, and this is gonna look lovely together with the jewelry box that I did. So yeah, well, I hope anyways. I hope they're gonna look nice next to each other once they are done. Oh, once this is done. Okay, so some gold, some silver. Building my collection as well, Catherine. I love them. Yes, they are really, really awesome. So nice to work with, and they make a lot of things much easier. Like I said at the beginning, well, like Teresa said as well, that they are very nice to work with when you're doing a raised stencil. The moon, I think the moon I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna do silver and gold. I'm gonna do gold base, and then I'm gonna take some silver and just go over like this, and then smooth it out a little bit. And because both of the waxes are still very wet, they kind of mix together, the colors mix a little bit, so it's not like a sharp gold and silver. It kind of creates almost like a white gold color. So that's again like a little tip for if you only have gold and silver, combine the 2 and then you get like a white gold. So these waxes can be mixed together. You don't necessarily have to own every single color unless you know, it's a color that you use all the time, and you know, you don't want to mix it every single time. It's just like paints, really. So paints can be mixed together to create the color that you need. However, if you're going to use it all the time, then you know, it may be easier or makes sense for you to invest in an actual pot of paint that is that exact color, rather than having to mix it every single time. But you know, I'm sure you guys get it anyways. And then let's do this star in silver, and then I'm gonna leave it for a little bit, and I might come back and add a little bit of gold over the top. And I'm gonna leave it now so that it can cure a little bit more, and then the colors won't combine as much. And then we'll do the other moon, gold and silver as well, I think. Oh, this one didn't stick down as well, because it is a bit more shallow, I think. So this one needs a bit more time, maybe a bit more heavy body gel once I'm done with it. If it's not completely stuck in a few hours, I might have to go and add, go back in, pick it up, and then add some more heavy body gel on the bottom, because the other ones aren't sliding around like that. And then just use my finger to smooth it out. Waxes were the first mixed medium and first Finnabair product I purchased. Well, same here, vintage gold, and it's this vintage gold color, but I had it in a pot. It's forever going to be like my ultimate favorite, and the thing that introduced me to Finnabair and everything, because it's just, they're so amazing. And okay, so is that all of the stars? I think that's all of the stars. Okay, let's add some, this is aged brass. Right, and I need to finish reading Emilia's comment. Well, you know how that ended up. Yes, Emilia is also on the design team together with me, so yeah, she ended up here too. So ladies, be careful, they are mighty stuff waxes, exactly. Oh, thank you, Emilia. Do them silver and put gold on the top, on the stars maybe. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where we end up, and then we'll do some brass on the flowers. I don't know if I want to do all of them in brass, or if I want to combine brass and something else. I don't know, we'll see. Let's keep going. And they are just, waxes are so easy for especially like when you're working with molds. This is literally so simple. I poured it with resin, stuck it down, painted it with black gesso, and then went over with brass wax, and look at how beautifully it shows off the shape of the mold, the beautiful curves, the petals, everything. It's such a quick and easy and very effective way to show off any kind of 3D objects that you may have on whatever you are working on. And of course, as always, I'm going to post a picture of this thing with some close-ups and everything tomorrow, hopefully, if I get the chance. Saturdays can be a little bit crazy in our house, so I'm gonna post some pictures when I can, and then you can have a look, you know, a little bit closer, because I know that, of course, you know, phone live stream probably doesn't always necessarily give like the best quality picture. I don't know, I'm gonna go over with brass on all flowers, I think, for now, and then maybe we'll combine something or mix them together a little bit. So tell me, what are you guys working on? Are you working on anything tonight, or are you just watching, or are you actually like also making something very pretty and cool tonight? Well, I suppose if you're making stuff, then you probably don't have much time to type, but here's your call to take a little break and let me know what you're doing. What are you doing tonight or today, if you're from not from Europe, or you know, wherever it's nighttime at the moment. I don't know about these beetles though. Should I do them a different colour, or should I make them blend in? I don't know. Screw it, I'll go with brass at first. And then, so that's all of the molds waxed. I'm just gonna take a step back, have a little look, and see what I think. And I think, what do I think? I think we need some more silver, because there's not enough silver, so I'm gonna go over the beetles with a little bit of silver. That's another tip. I don't know if anybody needs to hear it, but whenever you're creating something, like when you're actively creating for a long time and like staring really closely at your piece, you may get, you know, your eyes get used to the image that you're seeing, so like stepping back can help. And then I'll do all of the leaves with silver as well. And it's very easy, like if you don't like what you're seeing, like if, you know, I just went over with silver, let's say I didn't want them to be silver anymore and I wanted to bring them back to aged brass, then I can just wait a little bit, let the silver cure, and then go over it with brass, and it's going to cover most of it up. Oh no, showing me that I'm running on low battery because I did not plug my phone in. Please excuse me a second while I plug it in before I lose you guys. Silly me. Forgot. There we go. That should be better. Hi Karen, you made it. Do you feel it's harder to use resin rather than clay? It's just different. It's different. Making lots today and this weekend. Cynthia, you're always making stuff though. Working on masks and planning for Alice. Oh, good, good, good. Can't wait to see your masks. No crafting today. We had my daughter's graduation. Tomorrow I craft. I saw Eileen. I saw the picture. She's looking beautiful, and congratulations. Congratulations. She's looking gorgeous in the cap and the gown. Okay, so I think we're also going to add a little bit of gold on that star that I was saying. Just gonna go over the very tops. And then I might just go over with the gold over like the end of some of the flowers, just kind of here and there. At this point, you know, you could stop whenever you're happy with what you're seeing. But I feel like these gold stars are a bit too gold, like they stand out too much. So again, I'm gonna go over with silver a little bit, so leave most of it like gold underneath, and then just kind of brush over with silver over the tops. Like this. And I think we're ready to move on to the pebbles. Just gonna close up the waxes, move it to the side, bring out the heavy body gel again, and before I start gluing down the pebbles, wait, where's the brush? Here's a little brush. Before I start gluing down the pebbles, I'm going to sit them where I want them to go. So just kind of, you know, figure out the placement of where I want to put some pebbles. They are in all different colors. Here, these are, oh God, what are these called? Caliux, vintage retro. I'm not sure what the actual name is, but these are the colorful ones. So there's like some browns, some more white, opaque, more like opal looking ones, some orange ones, and they're all in different sizes. And I'm going to figure out where I'm gonna put them before I start gluing them down, and like how many I want to put down as well. I'll use a smaller brown one here, I think. Too bright. There you go, that's a bit better. So this is a you know, really cool thing that there's all different sizes here in this pack, and different colors, because you can combine them and see like which one looks better. And one last one there, I think, and that'll do. And then we just need to glue them down. And once they are glued down, I think our canvas needs a little edge. And you could create an edge in kind of whichever way that you like. A really cool option would be to use like stamps or stencils as well, but obviously if you're doing molds and stuff, you need to think about stamps and stencils beforehand, before you do it, because right now, like, I wouldn't really be able to stamp anything here. Where did that go? Where was I gonna put this one? I picked it up and forgot where it went. I don't know, so I'm just gonna have to find a new place. I'll put it here. Is that where it went? Is that where it came from? I have no idea. I need to concentrate and so remember where they go. This one needs a bit more. But what I want to do is I want to use a wax to create an edge. So go around the edges with some wax to kind of frame it a little bit, because at the moment it just kind of all looks, I don't know, like it's a canvas but it doesn't really have it's a picture but doesn't really have like any edges to it. So I want to frame it a little bit. I don't know, I'm just gonna go quiet for a second here while I'm gluing these down, because I keep talking and then I forget where the pebbles came from. And I can't concentrate on talking. So I'll just glue them down. And again, heavy body gel. I said I was going to stop talking, but I can't. So heavy body gel, again, it's opaque when it's wet, but it dries clear. So like any of this that you can see, like on the sides and stuff, you won't be able to see it once it's dry. Is this glued down yet? Yeah. It's holding it. No. I'll add a bit more. It's because it's a bit shallow. It's not even. Yes. Going back to Catherine, your question, resin versus clay. It's different. It's I wouldn't say that one is better than the other. They're just different. One is kind of, you know, they're just different mediums, and you both have their pros and cons. But I glued all of them down. Yes, I think so. Okay. Put this in. Love pebbles. Yes, me too. Need to want them all, definitely. What is she making? I am making a canvas, a wall art basically, but everything that you can see can be applied to any flat surface, really. A side of a drawer, side of a dresser, a jewelry box, I don't know, whatever you want to, a lamp, anything, really. Oh, Evelyn, you made it! As you pick the pebbles up to a small, do a small dab of gel where it was to remind you. That's a good idea. That is a really good idea. Why did I not read it sooner? Right, okay, so this is where we are at the moment. Now I'm going to go back in with, I think I want to make the edge with white pearls, so the wax that we used for the dandelions at the beginning, because they are very, very bright. They stand out a bit too much, kind of on their own. They don't have anything to bounce off of. So I am going to put down some wax, take a brush, and I'm going to pick up my canvas like this. Can you see? Yes. You can see, I think, yeah. And I'm going to go in with the white pearl wax. So go over the edge here and then bring it out like this. Or you could use your finger as well for that. And then you can also use, like, turn your brush a little bit sideways. Can you see? You probably can't. You can turn your brush a little bit sideways and then bring the wax up a little bit to kind of smudge it out a little bit, you know, up and that. So I'm going to go over with white pearl. Hopefully you can still see everything. Oh, you can't see that side. Okay, I'm gonna turn it like this. Can you see? Yes, you can see now. Sorry, the camera is only that wide. That's what happens when the canvas is big. I just kind of bring it up I know, once we're finished with the, I just had an epiphany. Once we're finished with the edges, we're also going to go over with some white pearl over a couple of flowers and stuff. And I think it's going to look great. Right. Just checking to see that you can see everything that I'm doing. So we're just gonna go around and frame it a little bit. So I just use the side of the brush like this to kind of go in. Turn the canvas around so I can see what I'm doing. Really need to move these out of the way. That'll make it easier. Canvas full of jewels. Well, yeah, kind of. The idea that we have here is that we have a starry night sky and a field with like some flowers, and of course, you know, it's a little bit made with molds, and then these are called art pebbles, and we're just kind of using them to make it all look a little bit more magical, entering the world of imagination. And yeah, and then you can also like use your brush if you want to add some sparkle over your raised stencil, just do that. I always have trouble with like stopping, so like I will, at this point I will just keep going and add in more things until there's no more space left. And like go around the corners a little bit, go in to smudge it out, make them a little bit more like a vignette if you want to. Extruder just came. Woohoo! Oh yeah, that's good. Good times. You are all set and ready for the Alice then. Okay. So we're almost done with the edges. Sorry, my hair keeps getting in the way. Does this give me a valid enough excuse to chop it all off or not? If I say that my hair is inconveniencing my live streams, do you think I would get away with that? Okay, so we've got a little bit of some like magical edges around here, and then again you can like keep going in places like what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna use a little bit more wax, more of this white pearl wax, and go over some of these edges on the flowers. Make them a bit more silvery, and And so see, now that we have the silvery edges with the wax, again, you know, I can keep kind of adding bits and pieces here and there to smudge it out more, make it a little bit more faded. But now that we have the silver edges, the dandelions don't kind of stand out as much as like a sore thumb. Oh, you moved. Where was you? Here. Okay. Stick you back. No! It fell. Okay. Need some more gel on this one. It's because this one is sitting on top of a dry raised stencil, so it takes a little bit longer for this to adhere. Right. Thank you, Tammy. And yeah, you can just kind of add, you know, like use this white pearl here and there like this lightly, just with the side of the brush, to add a little bit of like extra fog in places, like here where I messed up the stencil a little bit at the beginning. I'm gonna fog it out a bit more. The trick is to wipe off as much excess off of your brush. It's almost like I'm dry brushing with the wax at the moment. So the trick is to wipe off as much excess as you can. Before you start doing this, so that it doesn't like so that you don't get like a big blotch of wax in one spot. Okay, well there we go. I think we are done. So I just need to move this stuff off of my chair, and I can turn you guys around. Hello. Okay, turn you guys around and I can sit down and we can do this. Hi Francine. Came in late, looks amazing though, thank you. Well, okay, right, I'm gonna stand to the side, move this, and then kind of fit it into the frame. So this is what we have here. Yeah, so this is what we created tonight. I hope that you guys like it and I hope that you guys enjoyed tonight's stream and you learned something new, maybe learned some new techniques or something like that. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. So I'm going to take some pictures tomorrow, you know, in the daylight, so that you can see everything better and post them everywhere here in the group and all of my social media, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Tammy, do you do Facebook Lives often? I am on here almost every week. I'm gonna be on again next Thursday, but yeah, I'm almost weekly. But I also have a YouTube channel. I'm known as Dainty Gifts on YouTube, my own Facebook page, Dainty Gifts, Instagram, and I do a lot of stuff. I do workshops, I do YouTube videos, I do live streams here, and yeah, a lot of things. And his nails looks terrific. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Eileen. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you so much, everybody that joined in tonight. Thank you for staying staying with me for, oh God, an hour and a half. It's a record breaker tonight. And I will see you guys next Thursday for another live stream. Thank you and see you soon.